Last night was bad for the Miami Heat. This was not just a tough loss. This was not just a schedule loss. This was a pretty pathetic performance. The Miami Heat lost to the Milwaukee Bucks without Giannis and didn't make a single field goal in the final 6.5 minutes of the game. 6.5 minutes in the fourth quarter, and the Miami Heat could not score a single field goal against the lowly Bucks, who are pretty terrible with Giannis out. While Giannis is there, they're above 500, but without Giannis, they're below 500. And so that was a pretty embarrassing loss. But what could we expect from this Miami Heat team? They're obviously mediocre, and I'm still attached and get emotional, but I like it doesn't shock me, obviously, when this happens with this Miami Heat team. And you're not winning serious basketball games like this in the NBA if you play the way the Miami Heat do, especially in clutch situations. Third quarters have been turd quarters, fourth quarters and clutch moments. They've failed to play good half court basketball. They don't have a number one true option, a superstar on this team that can get to the free throw line, that can get you a bucket, hit that mid range shot, hit a 3-pointer when necessary consistently right now. So we have multiple third options on this team. So tough game. And again, the Heat did not make a field goal in the final 6:30 of the fourth quarter. That is not bad luck. That's not just variance. That's offensive dysfunction. Like, I know the defense was bad last night. We'll get into that and talk about that. But the Miami Heat are a top 4 defensive rated team in the NBA. Like, offensive rating, they're not great. They're middle of the pack at best. Yes, they get a lot of opportunities because they play with the most pace and they have the second most points per game, but it doesn't contribute to winning basketball. Like, we're 3 games above 500 at this point, still in the purgatory of being in the 8th seed, stuck in the play-in, and I don't know what's going to change, but this game was there last night. It was within the reach, and the Miami Heat could have put together 4 straight wins, beating a bunch of crappy teams because their schedule is pretty soft at this point. So this was a game that they blew down the stretch. They just had stagnant offense. They had no paint pressure. They forced some bad jumpers. They took a ton of threes in those final 3 or 4 minutes, missed a bunch of them. There was no movement. There was no identity. Meanwhile, the Milwaukee Bucks closed the game on a run. It was like a 16-2 run, I believe, to put the Miami Heat away and win a game, which is just, again, embarrassing. But I'm not shocked, again, that this Miami Heat team lost to a bad team or a tanking team. And I don't know if they're tanking anymore now because they didn't trade Giannis. So it's not as bad as like the Utah loss, which they're objectively trying to lose. They are shutting down guys left and right. Like, Nurkic is out because of a nose complication. Jaren Jackson Jr.'s out with a knee. Larry Markkinen got hurt in practice, so we'll see what happens. I'm pretty sure they're going to shut him down. But again, the Bucks did not have Giannis. No MVP, no unstoppable mismatch, no dominant downhill force, 30-point score, 11 rebounds, 5 assists, Giannis. And they still allowed 128 points to the Milwaukee Bucks, who don't have Damian Lillard either anymore, obviously, who was traded. And they don't have Middleton, and they don't have Drew Holiday. We lost to Bobby Portis, Kyle Kuzma, Ryan Rollins, like Cam Thomas, Kevin Porter Jr. So I just don't know what to say, but you can't say you're competing in the East and lose to undermanned teams like this. And this has become a pattern. Losing to teams missing stars. Against Cleveland this year, they had a game months ago and they had no Mobley, no Allen, no Mitchell, and we still lost that game. We're losing to teams below expectations. Like, we're losing games that we should be winning, and that's a focus problem. That's a coaching problem. That's a player skill problem. That's a rotation problem. Like, just terrible. Like, terrible. Ryan Rollins and Kevin Jr. cooked us last night. Rollins looked like an all-star last night. Had, I think, 21 points. Kevin Porter Jr. just was getting whatever he wanted, and they combined to absolutely destroy the Miami Heat's perimeter defense. Andrew Wiggins did all that he could. Davion did all that he could, but they had blow-bys and step backs and just got to the rim and had open threes and got to the free throw line and late clock buckets, whatever they wanted, they were getting. And this is where it becomes concerning because when I'm not going to say they're fully random, but when random guards are having career nights against you consistently, that's not random anymore. That's scheme, that's point of attack defense, that's lineup construction. Again, the closing group with Tyler Herro and Norman Powell doesn't work. Like that just doesn't work. I understand the idea. Like you've been bringing Tyler off the bench since he's been back from his injury, and he's okay with that right now. But you want to close with him and Norm, perhaps because of more scoring, more shooting. But in practice, you're small, you're weak, your defense is vulnerable. Tyler's a horrible defender. Norman Powell is a bad defender at times and not a great defender in general anymore. And if neither guy is cooking or dominating and you have zero downhill pressure, then down the stretch, like last night, the offense becomes Hero's dribbling and takes a late clock jumper. He misses it. Norm is just playing hero ball, trying to get to the rim, but he's not able to do it. He's not getting easy looks. No offensive rhythm. Like it was just tough. And he was getting to the free throw line, but he was missing. Andrew Wiggins got to the free throw line at the end of the game and missed two. Like you got to make the free throws. And they were in foul trouble, I guess, or whatever in the bonus with a ton of time left, and we were shooting a bunch of threes. So it wasn't a good look for the Miami Heat offensively. Defensively, again, the backcourt struggled to contain the quick guards. Like again, Kevin Porter Jr. killed us last night, and they were cooking. And if your closing lineup can't get stops and can't generate quality shots, like what are we doing? Why are we forcing it, Spo? Put Kel'el Ware back in the game. Put other options out there. Put Jaime Pella, whoever. Like just we can't have Tyler and Norm close together. And again, what worries me about this team, again, and why I shouldn't be upset because we're stuck in purgatory as a mediocre team. The Heat don't tank. They never tank. That's not part of the organizational strategy. But somehow you're losing games anyway. They are trying to compete and you're trying to blend youth with the veterans, but you're trying to stay in the playoff picture. You're trying to get that 6 seed, but you're still losing. And yet you're losing to teams without their stars. You're losing to teams like the Jazz who are trying to tank, the Kings, the Mavs, whoever, the Pacers. Again, that's not about just talent. That's also about execution. So Smo is not off the hook. But when you go 6 minutes without a field goal in crunch time, again, that's just embarrassing. And right now, the Miami Heat's identity is unclear. And this was supposed to be a big momentum game to help us in the standings and to catch up to Philly, to catch up to the Magics. But instead, you get exposed for the same issues: inconsistent closing offense, defensive breakdowns at the point of attack, lineups that don't work well. And if Miami wants to be taken seriously in the East, they have to win games like this because come playoff team, you don't go 6 minutes without scoring and expect to win any sort of game in the playoffs. So bad look from the Heat last night, and they're going to look to bounce back on Thursday. We'll see what happens, but yes, just a frustrating loss overall.